Hello, my name is Cameron Drake, and I'm a producer out of Hillsboro, Oregon. Today, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite tracks that I've produced, which is called No Man's Land. By the end of this video, I hope that you can take away that less is more and sound selection is key. Most of my productions start with the piano as a bass line. So before I started the track, I never really went into it with this is how I'm going to make the track. I just started playing on the piano and I eventually developed a really good melody, which here's the video of that concept being played. I then sat on the melody for about a day and a half, and I said, I guess I'll record it, so that's what I did. The piano patch I am using is from SoundPaint, and the patch is called 1928 Steinway, Maine. This VST is free and available for download on my website. It's a quality piano replication, so definitely check it out. Links in the description below. I then opened up the raw MIDI data in the sequencer, and then began editing the notes. If I went out of time or needed a note extended, or maybe I needed to adjust velocity, it was all done here. This took the longest. I did use some form of quantization, but some of it still needed to be tweaked, so that's what I did here. As far as editing, I added slight stereo separation, just a little, a bit of increasing gain, small amounts of reverb, added a dash of EQ, which I prefer to use TDR Nova. This plugin is free and available on my website. I love this EQ because it shows you precise dynamic information and also has a built-in compressor. Also, it's lightweight and doesn't use tons of memory like some of the expensive EQs out there. And to wrap up this sound, I added a little bit of distortion to excite the upper midsection of the piano. For the direction of the track, I knew that I wanted to slowly progress the complexity and energy of the track. During this process, I began to add other instruments to further excite the track. I began to add the cello, violins, and bass. This track only used 4 instruments. To achieve the sound I wanted, I decided to use Edirol Orchestral, which is, again, it's free and offers high quality samples of instruments from pianos, horns, strings, percussions. It's all around a good VST to have in your box if you don't want to spend tons of cash on an orchestral VST. The sound that comes out of this VST is powerful, a little quiet, but I would rather have it too quiet than too loud, so it works out good for me. I began to bring in the cello in during the intro to create presence. It's almost hidden behind the piano in such a way where it's somewhat audible, but it's more of a feeling rather than something you hear. It complements the piano and allows the piano sound to be a little bit more cinematic. Starting at bar 30, I decided to double up on the cello to broaden up the sound a bit and to create emphasis. At the same time, I introduced the violin into the mix. The violin is playing the same notes as the piano, and I just love adding violins to orchestral instrumentals because it really highlights the mix. Again, emphasizing the piano even more. Now for my favorite part of the mix, the violin spiccato. It's Spiccato is a different type of playing of the violin, and you can really make your track sound a little bit more dramatic when you use this form of playing. It starts out good, emphasizing the piano, and then I went up an octave. And last but not least, I added a bass to the track, which is a basic sine wave form from Vital. Vital is a free synth, and I would highly recommend it to producers. You may not be able to hear it coming out of your phone or laptop, but if you put on some headphones or if you have a good system, you'll hear how deep it really is. You're probably thinking, why didn't I show you the mixing for the cello, violin, and bass? Here you go. For all the instruments besides the piano, I added a high pass and a low pass EQ adjustment to each sound. I've learned over the years of doing music that sometimes the sounds you're using are really good, and adding more to it can ruin the presence of that instrument. I could have excited it a bit more with light distortion, but I genuinely liked the warmth that these instruments brought to the mix. When you hear it on big systems, this mix sounds warm and familiar, which is what I was going for. And last but not least, the master channel. As far as the master channel, I added some multi-band compression, a limiter, and a saturation tool to liven up the mix a bit. My mix sits between -3 dB and -6 dB. Some would argue with me and say that I should add gain to get it to 0 dB, but I like to leave room for mastering engineers if I ever decide to go down that route in the future. At the end of the day, I'm very pleased with this composition. As you can tell, it's very simple. I added 4 instruments, not that many tracks, not that many effects. It's not heavily edited. And that just goes to show you that sometimes sound selection is more important than the mixing aspect of it. I always tell people, if you record a video in 480p, don't expect 4K results. But ultimately, I hope that you can take away that this track is simple, and sometimes simple sells. To get your hands on the VSTs and plugins that I used in this video, go ahead and check the link in the description below. It's my website where I offer many VSTs and plugins for producers like you. Also, if you want to see more behind the scenes look at some of my tracks, go ahead and leave a like and a subscription. That will keep me going. That tells me that you're interested. And I don't have anything else to say. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed and have a good day.